here's the front side of the building that I was telling you about from the other project. This is a great shot right now, and it's a great point to show you exactly what's going on at this stage of the project. They're just about finished with the final bolting, detailing, and final welding, and having everything checked out before they take off. They have a little bit of work left to do up on the roof. They'll eventually come back and do all the rest of the handrails and the stairwells when the sheetrockers are finished. But for right now, the ironworkers' population on the job is greatly diminished. They're topped out, everything went well, and they did a great job. So right below the 3 levels of steel that you see, you'll see some tarps hanging, and those tarps are where they're pouring concrete right now. Those tarps help to keep any concrete, anything that would want to spill and roll off the edge, or anything else that wants to blow off the edge. It keeps everything contained while their activities are going on. The work needs to stay within the confines of the job site and not influence anything outside. That's first and foremost in all these projects. Safety, 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 and they're doing a great job at it. Everything has a redundancy up here. So you see right below it, you see the netting that's tied to the safety cable that goes around. There's 2 rows of cable that go around that's really tight, kind of like the ropes in a boxing ring. So it keeps you in the building, keeps things from falling off. And it has a toe board at the bottom, which is a 1x6 that keeps any little piece of pipe drops and wants to roll, and it hits against that and stays within the building again. Right below that, you see the tarps, and those tarps are where they're spraying the fireproofing. If you look a little bit below them, you see the difference has changed there. You see fireproofing, that white beige color material. That's a heavy material. It's kind of a oatmeal when it goes on. They spray it out of a hose. They coat all of the steel to a certain thickness, whatever size the beam is and whatever fire rating it needs to be. But that is a fireproof material. So they're not worried about the steel catching fire. They're worried about the steel heating up from a fire and failing. And so that's what that material goes. That's what that material is for. It's to keep if there's a fire on the floor, if all the office furniture and everything catches fire in the heat, it'll keep the heat off of that steel, and that structural remain, and it'll stay sound. And that fireproofing is what insulates the steel. You see the yellow outrigger that they're moving right now? That outrigger is a landing platform for material to come in the building and for debris to be taken out of the building. And so that gives another area to drop material on and feed it into the building safely. It acts as a drawer. When it's not in use, it's pushed in, or when it needs to be used, they pull it out, land the material on it, roll it in, and then they just take it floor to floor. So that'll chase up the building, get everything on the floors, and as the glass you see creeping up there to close everything in, and they'll get this building in the dry pretty quick. The next thing you see following up is the glass, and that's called curtain wall, because it connects to the building on the outside of the edge of the building going up. So it's its own, so it acts like a curtain. It doesn't sit on each floor or doesn't attach directly to the floor. It attached with these components that gives it the movement. They're all specialized attachments for earthquake and for wind and everything else that give it the movement, and so it can kind of move independent of the structure, and it's all designed and engineered, and that's something another time we'll go completely in depth on. Then what you see on the far end, the orange, is the Manlift that goes up. This is for all the personnel that go up and down, and they bring material up and they bring debris down in carts and everything. So it's large enough to fit several people in there, and pallet jacks and everything else is strong enough. It's heavy duty enough. So when trucks show up, they can load material up the Manlift or have it craned, depending upon how much crane time you have available. So there's a couple alternates. They give a couple different ways of getting material. It's all about material handling, logistics, and everything. Whatever's coming in the building, what needs to go out, debris, handling it so it's constant. And so that's what you got to think about on a project like this, especially at this stage. What you're seeing is a great example of like a pursuit race. So each one of these floors, if you looked at the schedule, are probably scheduled out about a week at a time, maybe 5 days intervals. So if you're pouring concrete on one floor, you got to be off that floor within so many days and up to the next floor. And if the iron workers are not done, they better hurry up and work overtime and bring more bodies in, whatever it takes, because the concrete keeps going. The schedule does not stop. So that's the idea on these projects. It's all about the schedule. So that's why I say you could come back and you see this thing stack, and they'll just move up. And then once they get to the point where they say, hey, we have all the mechanical equipment on the project, on the roof, We have all the elevator machines up there. We have everything else that we need a crane for, and then they'll start taking the crane down. And I'll be out here and we'll watch them take that crane down. I'm going to watch this building. I'm watching the building across the street. I got another couple of projects, so we'll just take field trips all over this place. I got a project right up the street here that I want to start paying attention to because they're moving everyone out, and they'll demo that strip mall, and they'll start a huge project. So we'll watch that one start to finish. Probably about a 3-year project. So like and subscribe this. Make sure you hit the notification buttons or whatever else you got to hit, and put some comments down there. Ask me questions about this. I'll answer anything I can think of. Been doing this my whole life, and I want to share as much as possible. These kind of buildings, you'll walk by and you wonder what's going on, and you have questions. Well, the questions are answered right here. And it's fun. This kind of work is fun. If you're interested in getting in this kind of work, let me know.